Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Devine, and if you don't know me, I run a B2B lead generation agency called warmleads.io, where we help go-to-market leaders and sales leaders scale their businesses using cold email and LinkedIn. And in this video, I wanted to show you guys how you can reach out to companies that are actively hiring and essentially pitch your services. This is definitely applicable if you're a recruiter where you're looking to find businesses that are hiring and essentially reach out if you have a candidate in mind, or if you're like me, you want to reach out to businesses actively hiring for a BDR or SDR position and pitch your outbound services. There's definitely a use case for that as well. And definitely want to kind of teach you guys how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is actually go on LinkedIn, and essentially what you want to do is scrape the job posting. So what I did here was I actually looked up a Boolean search. So I looked up business development representative or sales development representative. So this is actually going to pull both. And we can see here we have like around a little over 5,000 results, 5,600. And these are all just the job postings like in the United States. So definitely want to reach out to this target audience. And once we have this, second thing you want to do actually is come to Apify. And if you guys don't know what Apify is, it's a really cheap tool, a really great tool that actually web scrapes for you. And in this scenario, I'm actually using the LinkedIn job scraper just to show you guys what that would look like. But here's like sort of the input that we have. And essentially what you do is you just like copy paste this URL into the LinkedIn job search URL. And it's going to scrape that entire output for you. So I already did this. But what it did yield is this like entire like text block. And what we can do is I actually download this as a CSV file, and you guys can see it's like, spend like almost $5 for like almost 5,000 results, which is like really good. So this is really good because then we can put this into Clay and actually further enrich this. So we actually got this blank CSV file. We put that into Clay, and what it showed was, for example, like, when was the job created, what's the company description, what's the employee head count, what's the company LinkedIn URL, company name. It also got like, the industry, the job function, the job details. If there's a recruiter, how we, if we can reach out to them, that'd be great. So yeah, and then now the goal here is to actually like clean up this data, find decision makers from within these companies, find their emails, and essentially pitch our services as an alternative. So the first thing I did here was actually, because it gave me a big list, I couldn't actually find all the companies that I was looking for. So an example, it gave a huge list of like, Fortune 500 companies, and I definitely don't want to reach out to Fortune 500 companies. But I do want to reach out to companies like up to a level of like 100 employees. So where it says like employee headcount, I actually went ahead and filtered this on the column, and I put less than or equal to 100. So now that's everything is less than or equal to 100 is getting pulled in. And another thing I did was under the industry tab, I got rid of recruiting, just because I don't want to be reaching out to companies or recruiting firms that are essentially posting on the behalf of other businesses. I actually want to reach out to businesses themselves. So those are like the two filters that we did right out of the box. Second thing that we did was we had these like company names, as you guys can see here. But it's a little bit weird where like, for example, like this Blackbird.ai is like all capitalized, this one's a little bit capitalized, and this one just has like parentheses, TMP. So we don't want to be using this because ultimately we're going to mention their company name into our email copy, and we don't want to be like using these like weird names or like, parentheses or things like that, or all caps. So what we did actually was we normalized this company, and this is a feature in Clay, which essentially does exactly that, normalizes it. So yeah, it gets rid of like LLC, gets rid of Inc., things like that. Yeah, and then the second thing I did was I actually wanted to look at the title of the job that they're hiring for and normalize that a little bit more. So what I mean by that is, like, as an example, like, this is the output we got. There's a lot of like, weird things going on where, like, all the words are capitalized. We don't want to be putting that in our email. We don't want capital letters. So I actually use ChatGPT here to clean up this list a little bit. And essentially, like what I prompt ChatGPT to do is I will give you a LinkedIn title that needs to be cleaned. And it only contains a job title. It's possible that the LinkedIn includes unnecessary information besides the job title that should be deleted. Shorten the title so it includes the job title without changing the responsibility of the title, and keep everything lowercase. So it did that, but I actually had to like use a formula additionally to just make it a little bit cleaner, because sometimes like it had like a period at the end of it and I didn't want like a period, so I kind of got rid of that. So now what we have is a clean job title. We have a clean company name, as well as we narrow down a search to the company headcount that we're looking for, and we got rid of some of the industries that is not applicable for our needs. So now what we actually want to do is look at the job poster. So this is what I did. So for example, this Jakoda, as you guys see, he's like the job poster, and what that actually shows like in LinkedIn specifically is he's the hiring team. He's the one that's actually hiring for this position right here. And what we did here was actually just pull in, Apify did pull in his first and last name, but we cleaned this up a little bit, where we just want his first name because this is what we're going to use in our email copy, just his first name. We don't want his last name. And what we also did was make this a little bit cleaner. For example, like some of the names are pulled in, it was all caps. Instead of Ben all caps, we just put Ben. So really important. And really good as well because we have a job title. Definitely not as necessary at this scenario, but definitely there's use case for this. So once we normalize that in our list, what I actually wanted to put into our email copy was sort of talking about the value prop that this business is doing. Like, what is it doing for other businesses, right? So as an example, what I did was I actually prompted ChatGPT to look at the company description that we have from the list and tell me what this company's primary solution is. Keep the output under 10 words and use keywords from this input. Keep it conversational, as I'm going to use this in a cold email. Remove fluffy words and keep it all words lowercase. Talk in third person, keep it in past tense. And then I put complete the output with my prefix every time. This is my prefix, that will pitch. And you guys will see how this comes around like at the end. But what ChatGPT actually produced was these like hyper relevant pitches. For example, it says this company, it put that will pitch Alloy's platform for integration development. And the other one, for example, says, see what it says. Yeah, that will pitch comprehensive title search services using technology. So these are all the things that these companies are doing. Like that's the value proposition, right? And we're gonna put this in our email copy. But what I did was actually I went ahead and normalize this a little bit because you guys can see there's like a period at the end of this sentence. I don't want a period just because it's gonna be the middle of my email copy and I don't want the sentence to end there. So with this, the formula I actually just got rid of the periods and it made it a little bit cleaner. So once that's all done, what I went ahead and did was actually just find, and the thought process I had was I wanted to find all the people that are posting about this job. I wanted to find their emails, and the ones that are not sort of hiring managers and we don't know any information about them. It's just like a normal job posting. I wanted to find up to 3 decision makers from within the company. So from the ones that we do have, the job postings, I went ahead and did a waterfall enrichment. So I wanted to find their email addresses. And what a waterfall enrichment is, if you guys don't know, is essentially looking at multiple providers and is coming back with a valid email. And this is really good because it increases your accuracy of actually landing in the inbox. So I went ahead and did ran the waterfall for the job posters, and it returned a couple that I just ended up putting in this column right here that says emails 1, and emails 1 is a job, the hiring manager, so to speak. Afterwards, once I did that, I actually ran another enrichment called Find Contacts at Company. And what this is essentially is you're finding the different contacts that are at that company. And what I use as a company identifier was their LinkedIn profile. And the job title keywords or the people that I'm looking for is like, the founder, the CEO, the VP of sales, anyone that's really tied into revenue, I want to pull because they're oftentimes hiring for that BDR position, right? So, and I actually I put it up to 3 people. I don't want like get more people just because it was gonna like um, I don't want to be like emailing everyone in the organization. I only want to like email like 3 at a time and then kind of test from there. So, but what it does show you is actually it does show you how many people it did end up catching, but then it only puts out their name, right? So, for example, like we have found 3 people at this company, and then these are the names that goes along with it. So Salam, and then like Anthony, right? Like all those good things. But we only wanted 3, so we got output as 3. And same thing I did again here was it pulled in the first and last name, and then I use a formula to separate those 2 together. So where I only get the first name, and I did that for every single contact that I got. Moreover, for every single contact that we got, we ran again a waterfall enrichment, and we used like zero bounce to actually verify that email. And once everything was verified, we put them in a column again. Email number 4, email number 3, right? Email number 2. So right now, reaching out to like 3 different people, companies. If we don't know who the recruiter is, or we don't know who the hiring manager is, if we do know who the hiring manager is, then we just reach out to them specifically, and that's all good. And sort of the email that we have that we can craft here, for example, like this is what I came up with. Pretty simple, but it says, "Hey Matan, notice that Attribute is hiring for a business development representative position. Bring on entry-level talent that will pitch FinOps. Aligning cloud spend with outcomes can be difficult since they come with high salaries, lengthy training periods, and unpredictable performance. At Warmly.io, we source, engage, and send meeting-ready opportunities that perfectly match your ideal customers to your closers, outperform the average rep, no wrap-up time or turnover risks." So it's just a simple email that we crafted. And in terms of like what the output looked like, or what the specific identifiers look like, so from Clay we actually pulled in their first name, like we got their company name that we did normalize. I just put LinkedIn profile, but the LinkedIn profile was like the job description, or excuse me, the job title. And then in terms of the response formatting, that's the value prop, right? Like where we put, for example, like they're gonna pitch so and so product at the company. So all in all, we have pretty good personalization here, and it's very targeted, right? Because we're reaching out these people that are hiring for this position, and definitely there's a use case for many reasons. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Happy to talk about this more. If you guys have a better way of doing this, let me know as well. I'm always open to hearing more ideas. So yeah, let me know, guys. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.